Newcastle United announced yesterday the ballot system would be open from 10 a.m. this morning until 10 a.m. on Friday. This is, of course, for tickets for the home game against Aston Villa for members a week on Saturday. And, well, it went all to pot for them. Absolute uproar amongst the Newcastle United fans. And in my opinion, rightly so. However, Newcastle United have come out this morning and made a U-turn, so we'll get into that in a minute. Harrison Ashby looks like he's already moved to Swansea after being apparently spotted training with the Championship side. Lewis Miley is going nowhere, says Eddie Howe, after interest from a couple of Championship sides. Could we about to make a formal offer for Zaniolo at Galatasaray? And at the time of this video, guys, nothing on any new defenders as yet. But let's dive in on the Daily News. Hi everybody, I'm Paul and welcome back to the Daily News Show on the Toon Review YouTube channel. Before we get cracking, as usual, if you could give the show a like, if you do enjoy it today, that would help us in the YouTube search results. And of course, if you're new, help us on the road to 23,000 subscribers by hitting the subscribe button, which is free to do so, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. Right. U-turn. It has been made. Of course, I was reading this yesterday and I was quite staggered actually when I read what the system was in place. That the new members, if they wanted to be in the ballot, they had to register from 10 a.m. this morning until 10 a.m. on Friday, but they did not know how much they would be paying for a seat. It could be anywhere between, I think it was £44 and £74, which I found absolutely mental. And rightly so, a lot of fans were in uproar on social media. The Trust got involved as well. But credit to Newcastle United, they have made a U-turn this morning. And they had to really. Look, I mean, you can't expect fans to pay £74 for a ticket. I mean, you know, the way life is at the minute is very difficult to get to football matches in the first place and afford to go. Never mind just putting your details in and not knowing if, you know, 44 quid or anywhere in between up to 74 was going to come out of your bank account on Friday morning. Really, really bad move by Newcastle United. But what I've noticed is they've learned from it very quickly. I think because the Trust got involved, but they have read a lot of the feedback that the fans gave on social media, not understanding why they were given this option to have £74 disappear out the bank account for depending on where the seat was in the ground. Now, they have, as I say, changed their mind on this, and now when you enter the ballot, you will be able to stipulate what price range you want to go for your ticket. Now, that's very well done on Newcastle. You know, they've listened to the fan feedback and they've done something about it. Now, on the flip side, is that going to cause another problem? Because is everybody who's going to go into the ballot just going to put that they can only afford £44 for a ticket? Because let's be honest, guys, 44 quid for a ticket is still really expensive to a lot of people up here in the Northeast. The way the cost of living, etc., you've got to take that into consideration. And £44 a ticket is still mighty expensive. So there's not going to be a lot of people putting in for tickets at any more than £44. So you could get everybody literally going into the ballot and stipulating that they only want to pay £44. So what happens if they come out of the ballot and they're in a more expensive seat? Are Newcastle going to contact these fans and say, look, you've come out in the ballot, but it's at a higher rate seat in another part of the ground? So for me, it's very, very confusing and very worrying for the members. You know, there's been enough going on about the membership this season, about how it works, everything going digital, things like that. I really do feel for the members here because, you know, last season you were able to go on and queue up and try and get a ticket, which I think is a much fairer way of doing it. You know, if you're prepared to queue up online and get your tickets. The ballot system, you know, there's members making points that, you know, that they're not going to see many games this season because obviously they're not going to come out of the ballot. There's hundreds of thousands of members this season. You know, I think it was something like 308,000 at one stage. It's probably gone a lot higher than that now. And they're stuck in a very, very difficult situation, and I really do feel for them. I've got to give the club kudos, though, because Darren Eales has come out straight away and made that U-turn, and he's listened to what the fans have said, which is great. It means that the club do listen to what the fans have got to say now, and will do something about it as quickly as possible. It just worries me that things still aren't quite right, but, you know, time is going to be very important here, guys, because, you know, we know that nothing can be changed from the Ashley era overnight, and they've only been here 2 minutes, to be fair. They've got a lot of stuff that they need to sort out. But I think one of the most important ones is the ticket system and how it works. A lot of people, well, hundreds of people actually I saw on social media asking how they transfer their current ticket over to a relative or a friend so they can go to the game if they can't. It's been a very, very sticky subject for Newcastle United, without a shadow of a doubt. Not all the Cellar Cup tickets for Saturday have sold out. I think there was about 4,000 available yesterday, which is a little disappointing because of the build-up to this season, because of the excitement. I don't know whether that has anything to do with, the lack of transfers or whatever, just a couple of players coming in, or whether people just waiting for the new season to start. But I would have thought that they'd have sold out. I really did. But maybe they will. In the next few days, maybe they will. But let me know in the comments what you think about this whole system. Newcastle cocked up definitely yesterday. I was on the side of the members. There's no doubt about it. They cocked up. But like I say, Darren Eales has done something about it. He's listened to the fans, and after reviewing the feedback, he's decided that he will change the way the ballot system is going to work. But is it going to work that way? Because if you only want a cheaper ticket, then there's not many people going to be putting in for the more expensive ones. But I guess we just have to wait and see. But let me know about your thoughts on the ticketing system this season. Do you think it's going to work? Are there going to be a lot of teething problems at the Cellar Cup this weekend and the Villa game next week with digital tickets not scanning properly because they've said they've got to go to the box office if it doesn't scan? That could be hell on earth. If your ticket doesn't scan, you've got to go to the box office. And then, can you imagine the queues if something does happen and they don't scan the digital tickets properly? It's just going to be hell on earth. But we have to keep fingers crossed in this instant and hope that it doesn't happen. But do tell me in the comments what you think, because at the minute, it's still all up in the air, isn't it? Now, Newcastle United haven't mentioned anything yet about Harrison Ashby going on loan. Now, this was very evident in the trip to USA that Swansea were very interested in taking Harrison Ashby to Wales on a loan deal for the year. Now, nothing has come out from Newcastle United at the time of recording this saying that he has gone to Swansea on loan. However, various reporters have indeed spotted him training with the Championship side. So you would think that if he's training down there now, that a move has taken place. I find it a little confusing that if that has happened, why Newcastle United haven't announced that he's gone. Certainly they haven't at the time of recording this video. They may do it later on today, I don't know. But I find it very strange that he's been seen training, and it's not one, it's two or three people have reported that he's been in training with Swansea over the last couple of days. He's been spotted training. I don't have any photographic evidence of that. I'm taking their word for it. So it's all up in the air at the minute as to whether Harrison Ashby has actually gone to Swansea. A few people will be disappointed because I think a lot of people were wanting Ashby to stay and work with Trippier and get better and better after impressing a bit in the USA tour and pre-season in general. But that doesn't look like it's going to happen, guys. It looks like Ashby's gone on a loan deal to Swansea. Lewis Miley is undoubtedly one of the stars of pre-season so far, with some very, very standout performances. Certainly against, he came on against Gateshead, Rangers, and the US tour. He's really stood out with some fantastic performances. And Eddie Howe, of course, has noticed this. He has had interest from Leicester City and Stoke City in the Championship. But Eddie Howe has come out and said that Lewis Miley is going absolutely nowhere this season. He is going to be around the first team. And I think that's going to be brilliant news, not just for Lewis Miley, but for us as fans, because this kid is a player. There's no doubt about it. He seems to have a lot more confidence and level-headedness than his age would suggest. 17 years old, very, very young. But one thing Eddie Howe will do is he will bleed Lewis Miley into the side or into the first team outfit very slowly and do it properly, because he won't want to rush this kid into anything. Now, many people have said if you're good enough, you're old enough. And that's certainly been the case in the past with certain players. You remember, Wayne Rooney coming onto the scene and players like that, Michael Owen, for example, all bursting onto the scene at a young age, but they were good enough. Now, many pundits and things like that will say, oh, what about burnout? What about burnout? These players these days are super fit guys. And at 17-year-old, Lewis Miley is only going to want to play football and be on a football pitch, whether that be for the academy or the first team. But it looks like Eddie Howe has made his decision and said, look, that's it. He is staying around the first team. He's not going on loan. We're not selling him. This guy has got a massive future with Newcastle United, and he wants him around the first team. So I think that's brilliant, certainly for Lewis Miley to hear his manager say that, but us as fans, because we get to see him stay at Newcastle and probably play quite a few games, either coming off the bench or starting a few cup games for the current season. Now then, all has been quiet on players coming into the club. That is a certainty at the moment. There's been nothing that I've been trolling through news reports, etc. this morning, and still can't find anything apart from that we may be ready to make a formal offer for Nicolo Zaniolo at Galatasaray. Now, we did feature him on the transfer show. I believe it was Monday night. Alex went through some of his stats. Problem was, he wasn't that impressive stats-wise. In fact, I was quite disappointed because I thought his stats would have been better than they were. Now, that's not to say that this guy is a bad player. He can play attacking midfield, he can play on the wing, or he's even been used as a striker every now and again. But do I think we need him? I don't think we do. I think we are really chocker full of midfielders, both experienced and youngsters, moving into this current season, that I think we need to look elsewhere. Other positions are more important. Now, apparently, we're ready to pay 30 million quid for this guy, so it's around 35 million euros. And I'm quite baffled by that, because if this report is right and we are going to make a formal offer for him for that kind of money, then I'm sorry, I would rather spend it on a defender. That is just my opinion. I think there is other, attacking midfield or a winger. Yeah, yes, maybe the right-hand side is something we've looked at, but Miggy has started so well in pre-season. I'm not so worried about the right-hand side because, Barnes or Gordon can play there as well as inverted wingers. We know that Eddie Howe likes to play the inverted winger style, so there's no reason why they can't come across and play there as well. So I don't particularly think that we need to bring in another attacking midfielder or a winger. We have such other positions crying out for reinforcements, if you like. And I really do want to see that happen. But you know what it is? I mean, obviously, Eddie and the club know better than we do. We just regular fans who have our opinions, and, it doesn't really matter because the club will do what they think is best. But for me as a fan, Zaniolo is not the type of player that I think we should be going for right now. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm dying to know, do you think we should be going for another one, or should we be going for a defender? And finally, speaking of defenders, as I record this video now, there is no news reports on any links to any defenders at the moment today. Now, of course, Disasi was a big one. We were heavily linked with him, last week. He's now going to Chelsea, so we've kind of missed out on him. If we were at all interested in him, it could have been a smokescreen. Now, obviously, because there's no links or no serious reports about us going for a defender, that doesn't mean that we're not. Because we've seen it many times from Newcastle United that sometimes, they will do business very, very secretly and then suddenly announce that somebody's coming in for a medical. So that may still happen. There is still plenty of time left in this transfer window. Definitely Eddie Howe would have probably wanted all his signings in before the season kicked off. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. Obviously only bringing Barnes and Tonali in so far. But the transfer window doesn't close till the 1st of September. There is still time. There is a whole month yet. So, do we set panic in yet? Probably not. But I would say, as I said before when I was talking about, the other guy there, Zaniolo, I just don't know why we aren't concentrating on the defender. Because left back is obviously something that we've looked at many, many times on the show, many, many times in other discussions. Centre back, do we need somebody to step in for, Fabian Schär? He's getting older. Will he play every game this season? Absolutely not. Or are we just going to be reliant on Captain Jamal Lascelles? It seems to be that way at the moment. Left back, we've got Matt Targett there. We've got Dan Burn. So is Eddie Howe willing to give these guys a chance and then maybe revisit it in January if it's not working? I think it's a hell of a risk. I really do. I would love us to be focused on a defender now, or centre back, left back, even if it's on loan. Just bring somebody in so we've got the cover. I'd love to see a proper left back coming in who will bomb forward. Young Alex Murphy really showed us what a forward-thinking fullback does to transform our side. Overlapping on the left-hand side constantly, yet still getting back to defend. I think Alex Murphy was brilliant, so far in pre-season. So Let me know. I mean, this is just my opinion, guys. I don't know how you guys thinking out there. This is my opinion. I just think we need to concentrate on getting some defenders in rather than Zaniolo for me. But let me know. I read all your comments and I'm intrigued to know, because are we all on the same line thinking, yes, defenders are needed, or are we not? Let me know in the comments. But there you go, guys. That is the show for today. Thank you so much for watching. Again, like I said at the start, if you have enjoyed it, please do give it the thumbs up. It is really important we keep getting as many likes as we can so we stay in those search results on YouTube. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so. And of course, hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or when we upload any videos such as this one. We're on the road to 23,000. Brilliant community. Come and join it. We're on all the social medias as well. Check us out there. We're on Patreon as well. For if you want more from the Toon Review, we've got loads of podcasts on there. The link is in the description for that. But thank you very much for watching today, and we will see you very soon. Take care.